Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me for another general overview and Nimble mobile overview webinar. My name is Michaela Andredal and I'm Nimble's community manager. Before we get started, I want to spend a few more minutes talking about what Nimble is. So Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM, stands for Customer Relationship Management Tool, and it works for you in Office 365, G Suite, and anywhere else you work. And what do we mean by that is that using our browser extensions, Gmail, and Outlook plugins, you can use Nimble where you're used to be working. So if you're used to spending a lot of time in your Outlook or your Gmail, Nimble plugs in there as well, and we will help you to access existing records, edit them, and also will help you create new ones. And when you're using Nimble, when you want to use Nimble outside of Nimble, when you're, for instance, prospecting on LinkedIn or having conversations with any of your prospects or customers on any other social media profiles, or if you're prospecting on any third-party websites, any company websites, you can use it as well. So currently we have a browser plugin for Chrome, Microsoft Edge. We also have it for Firefox, and we will soon fix it for Safari. So Safari changed something and our engineers are adjusting. So soon we will again be on all the main browsers. Nimble also unifies all your contacts, communication histories, and email inboxes and calendar appointments into one place. So this is essential for any business person because the most important thing you need to know is exactly what has been done with your prospects and customers and also what the next steps are. So Nimble helps you unify all this information into one place. And again, using all these extensions allows you to access it elsewhere. So if you don't want to go into the actual CRM database, you can access it in your inbox, on your phone, or also anywhere else online. Nimble also integrates with social media via these browser extensions and with almost 200 different software as a service applications. So we do this via our partner company called Picing. They specialize in bidirectional data synchronization. And the way it works that you can go into networks and imports in Nimble, sign up for a free trial, which is for 14 days. During that trial, you will be able to bring all the data from different SaaS applications into Nimble for free. So this is really useful for anybody that might be transitioning from different CRMs or different applications and just putting the data into Nimble. And for all our other customers that would also be interested in keeping these databases in sync or these applications in sync, PySync gives you the ability as well. So as long as you sync less than 2,000 contacts per month, the integration remains free. And if you go on PySync's website, maybe Megan can share a link to their pricing page where you can actually put the number of contacts you would be syncing, and they will give you an estimate on what the cost of the integration would be. But if you want to use it for the initial import of your data into Nimble, that's completely free on the free trial. And also then if you would be utilizing any of the integrations, then if you sync less than 2,000 contacts per month, it will remain free. Our next training webinar will be next week. We will focus on contact management strategies. And then on April 1st, we will do another general overview. Okay, so here we are in Nimble. For those of you that are new, I want to make sure that I cover the basics. So before we cover the today page, I want to show you where you can make sure that you can connect everything. So every time you need to connect something to Nimble, or if, I don't know, you find out that something is not working properly, you can always click on the circle in the top right corner here, go into networks and imports. And the first step is to make sure that your emails are connected. So today, majority of you said that you are on Office 365, and that's great news for you because we actually made it very easy for our Office 365 users to connect everything. So we have this one button connector. So you can just log in with your Office 365 credentials. We'll automatically connect your email, your Outlook calendar, and we will also give you the option to connect your Outlook contacts to Nimble. And when you're bringing any contacts from anywhere to Nimble, always make sure that you attach a tag to them. And if you're using Nimble as a team, make sure that you come up with some sort of a naming structure and you tell your coworkers to maybe attach their initials or at least their name to the tag. So for instance, if you have 5 people on your team, everybody's importing their Outlook contacts. If they all use just the tag called Outlook contacts, it will become messy. So add in your initials or your name will just make it easier for everybody on the team to know who imported who and from where. So for Google G Suite customers, it's also very easy to connect your emails and import your contacts and connect your calendar. The only difference is that you will have to do 2 things instead of just using the one button connector. So for our Gmail G Suite users, you'll just click here, connect your email account, log in with your Google credentials, and then you'll click here as well to connect your Google Calendar. When importing your Gmail, you'll also be able to import your contacts, and this is where you would apply the tag. So the same thing applies in regards to the tag organization that I just mentioned regarding our Office 365 users. If you have a bunch of team members that would be importing their Google contacts, then I would suggest coming up with some naming structure so the tags are nicely organized. So once you connect your emails, once you connect your calendars, it's time to figure out where you would be bringing your contacts in. So you may have added them from your Google contacts, Outlook contacts, but maybe you also have them in other places. So you might have them in various different spreadsheets. So you can easily save all your spreadsheets into a CSV file and then use our CSV file importer. You can either first review what the different fields are called in Nimble and then look at your spreadsheet and make sure that you change the names of the columns so they are the same as the fields in Nimble, or you can also do that upon the import. So you would just click here, upload a CSV file, upload your spreadsheet, and Nimble would guide you through the process. If Nimble doesn't recognize some fields, you would be asked to select from a drop-down menu. So depending on what works best for you, if you want to do the cleanup prior, or if you just want to do it when you're importing the contacts, Nimble will make it pretty easy for you to import your contacts into Nimble. And again, once you import it, make sure that you apply a tag. And other options of bringing your data into Nimble are using other applications. In regards to integrations with social media, currently Nimble directly integrates only with Twitter because that's the only social media network that allows us to do so over their APIs. With LinkedIn, they closed their APIs a few years ago. So now what you can do is to go on LinkedIn, go on your profile, download a list of your connections into a CSV file, and then you can bring them into Nimble this way. If you want to keep them in sync, and this, not in sync, but updated, up to date, this really depends on how many people you're adding to your network. So if you're connecting with a lot of people, then I would maybe suggest doing this import twice a month, once a month, depending how often you want to do it. And then when you run these imports again, Nimble will automatically merge the existing contacts and we will only update the existing ones with new information, or we will create the new ones. So you don't have to worry about any duplicates. If you just add people, I don't know, if you add few people a week, few people a month to your LinkedIn network, you can also use a browser extension to add them to your tag list of LinkedIn connections to Nimble. So you can also keep you can also add them one by one. So you can do the initial import with the CSV file and then use the browser extension to add people one by one. And a little later in our presentation, I'll show you how to do it. I also mentioned our integration with PySync. This is a complete list of all the third-party software as a service applications that we integrate with, you can either go through this list or use our lookup here and just type in the name of the application that you would like to sync. The way it works is that you sign up for the free trial, and then it works on rules. So if this contact gets created in MailChimp, then also created in Nimble, and you can set up more advanced rules like if this contact exists, also apply this tag, or grab this person, grab contacts only from certain lists in MailChimp, and so on. So I kind of covered the integration with the social networks, and I mentioned that we currently only directly integrate with Twitter. So what it means is that it actually works similar to our integration with different email providers. So once you connect your Twitter or email to Nimble, we will be automatically recording any of your conversations and automatically matching them with your contact records. So if you have email and Twitter interactions with a certain individual, you find the certain individual's contact record in Nimble, you will see the entire history of your interactions you've had on all these platforms. You can also import contacts from Twitter. I would recommend not importing everybody, because not everybody that follows you needs to be in your CRM database. And in order to keep your data clean, I would suggest either not importing anybody and then using the browser extension to bring them in one by one once you identify them as a qualified prospect, or once they become a customer, or once you identify a customer that also is on Twitter. Or you can also bring in friends, meaning you follow each other with. Or if you use Nimble, if you use Twitter, you probably know that we also have, there's a feature called Twitter lists. So if you have curated any Twitter list in the past, or if you have subscribed to any existing Twitter list, you can bring them into Nimble this way. And then again, same for the tags. Every time you are bringing contacts in, apply a tag so you and everybody on your team knows why the contacts are in Nimble and who imported them. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover in networks and imports. If you guys have any questions, please let us know and we'll cover it at the end of the webinar. So now when we connected everything to Nimble, the Today page will make a little more sense, because you know when you first sign up, all these boxes are blank. So this Today page was designed to be completely customizable and to fit your individual needs. Depending on the role in your company, your business model, all these things, you can completely customize it, move these boxes around, and also get rid of some of those that are not relevant. When you click on Manage Widgets here, you can also upload your company logo, you can change the cover, and you can move these around. So if you prefer to have your tasks, list of your to-dos in the first spot, you can do so. For instance, if you are no longer interested in seeing some of these widgets, you can also close them. When you're done, you close settings, and let's review what these individual widgets or boxes mean. So I already covered the tasks. Those are your to-dos. These are not related to your Outlook tasks. So these are specific Nimble tasks that you can relate to specific contact records in Nimble. So this is very beneficial, because when you then go under the individual's contact record, you will see all the tasks that you have created that maybe you delegated to somebody. And once they are completed, they will still stay there in the history. So you will have a complete view into the history of the relationship with individual people. You can see the overdue ones, upcoming ones, those that you have completed, also those that you delegated. Nimble offers a stay in touch feature, so that it's this little clock that's to the right of every contact records picture, and you can use it to set up a custom reminder and have Nimble remind you to stay in touch with some of your important contacts on regular basis. And then when the time comes, Nimble will send you a notification. If you don't take action, the people will turn red and they will be past you. Nimble also offers email tracking. So for our Gmail G Suite customers, email tracking is also available inside of your Gmail. For our Outlook customers, you will be able to use it inside of Nimble on the browser extension and also on your mobile. But as of now, we will not be able to track individually sent messages outside of your Outlook application. So then you'll see how people are interacting with your messages, how many times they open, and so on. Another widget we offer is our events widget. So you will be able to see all your calendars you connected to Nimble here. You can select to see all your calendars or just a specific one. For those of you that are business owners or that are in sales, our deal-related widgets might be interesting. So in the stage funnel, you will be able to visualize what your funnel looks like. We also have a multiple deal pipeline. So you can create as many pipelines as you want. And in this widget, you will be able to select which one you want to focus on. We also have pipeline chart and individual deals widget here. So you can focus on the individual deals and you can always click on them and you'll be navigated to your pipeline to the exact deal and will be able to review all the details about the specific deal. And again, you can always take active ones, those that have been won, lost, and you can also focus on those that your team is working on. So that's the Today page. And probably the most important tab in Nimble, because it is a customer relationship management tool or a data database, will be our contacts tab. So on the left side, you will be able to go into all contacts and see the total number of contacts that have been imported into Nimble. Contacts as of now are all shared across your entire team. Soon we will be creating updates and we will give you the ability to create some contacts as private. So the owner of the company or the management will be able to create different groups of people and hide them from the rest of the team. Nimble also separates people and companies. So if we detect there's a company related to a contact record, we will automatically create a company record for them as well. We also allow you to mark certain contacts as important. So you can use this little star and then they will all be automatically put into this folder. You can also see those that have been recently viewed, recently added, recently contacted, those people that you set up a stay in touch reminder with, or contacts that you have removed. And the account administrator will be able to determine how long these contacts will stay in this folder. And after the time is reached, they will be deleted permanently, or you can do so manually and just get rid of them. We also have a segmentation feature that I would recommend everybody checking out and seeing how you can utilize it for your specific business case. So Nimble segmentation allows you to segment your database and use every single field that already exists in Nimble, including any custom field. So here you see some examples of the most used fields in Nimble, but when you click on the left side here on Add Filter, you will be able to search for any other existing fields or any custom fields that anybody on your team may have created. So you can easily create groups depending on different filters. So I could create a list of all my connections in Redmond. I could further refine the search by last contacted, for instance. I'll do last contacted by me, and I'll do less than 30 days ago. Looks like my computer or my internet might be a little slow, so it's loading. And you can use as many filters as you want. You can also determine if you want Nimble to work just with people, just companies, or if you want to create a list of both people and companies. So in my case, I only want to work with individuals. So once you create these reports, you have several different options what to do with them. You can, of course, select all of them, export them, and just to let everybody know, this is also one feature that the administrator of the account can disable or enable for different team members. So if you would like to take certain precaution and make sure that some of your employees won't take your database with them when they leave the company, you can disable this option and only you or the management will be able to export and also bulk delete. So that's one option you can do. You can also select everybody in the group and then apply a tag to them. You can mark them as important. You can set up a stay in touch reminder for them. You can also send them a group message, which we'll cover just in a little bit. And you can save the segment. And the difference between saved segments and tagged groups is that the saved segments are dynamic, meaning every time a new contact record is added to Nimble by anybody on your team, and if they match the criteria, they will be automatically added to this group. So I can save it. And once I save it, it will show up on my contacts page, and I will be easily able to find the group of people. And when you have the saved segments, which for now, they will only show up on your personal contacts page. Soon we will give you the option to share them with any of your team members. But for now, they will only show on your contacts page. When you go into the saved segment, you will have the option to delete it. You can always make any edits to it, and you can also create a segment copy. So this will help you to save time when you're creating groups of people, of maybe you want to create a list of customers that are in certain location and purchase a certain product, and you'll just be changing the location. Instead of recreating these reports, you can make the segment and then just change the one criteria or any of the criteria they will be changing, rename it, and then it will be saved on the main contacts page. Let's review a contact record in Nimble. Let me use as an example of our CEO. So here we are on a contact record in Nimble. You can see all the basic information about the person. This is where you can also mark them as important. You can set up the stay in touch reminder for. You can also choose to do a custom one. If you need to make any edits to anything, you can click edit here. One question that we get often is about duplicates. So when you click on the three dots here and click on Find Merge Duplicates, Nimble will do the search for you, and you'll be able to merge the contacts that are duplicates. On the right side, under Interactions, this is where you will be able to see the entire history of the relationship with the person. So everything that's overdue, upcoming, and anything that happened in the past. As you can see, on this example with John, for once you have a long relationship with somebody, the interactions tab under all might become a little overwhelming. So we always give you the option to focus on specific things. So if you want to focus on notes, you can go here and you'll see all the notes that have been attached to the person. If you're looking for a specific email or Twitter message or tweet, it will be under messages. Any activities will be here, and because we offer several activities, you can also go through the drop-down menu here. If you're interested in calls, you can select it here, and same for deals. Under data fields, this is where you can review the entire information history, make any edits. We have inline editing option. And you can also create custom fields. Nimble allows you to create up to 5 custom tabs. And then under each tab, you can create as many individual filters as you want. So I created this tab called programs. These are the different programs that I manage at Nimble. And you can create as many fields as you want. They can be text fields, or they can also be drop-down fields. They can be separators, which will separate the different areas, like I separated influencer program and press. And you can define what the data fields would be in settings. So you would go in the top right corner, click here, go to settings, and on the left side, third option from the bottom, you would go to data fields. Let me just delete one. So I'll show you what it looks like when you still have the option to create one. So I mentioned you can create 5 custom tabs. So you could just click here, name the tab. Once you have the tab, you will have the option to create as many custom fields as you want. So as you can see, this is a separator. This is a drop-down menu one, and it's very easy. So let me just click here, new field. You would be able to name the field, select the field type, and the width of the column. So if you want it to be 1 column wide or 2 columns. So my separator here is 2 columns wide, and these are just 1. And we are also going to be launching an update to the data field soon. So we will also be adding additional field options. So we will also have a date field and other ones. When we go back to a contact record, I want to show you something that we just recently launched. When we go under interactions and into notes, now you are able to search notes in Nimble. So if I wanted to figure out if I send champagne to John, I can just search for a keyword, and just the note that includes this keyword will pop up. So we covered data fields. Under company info, you'll be able to see information about the company. Under social, you'll be able to see a preview of the person's social profile. And you will also have the option to attach files to Nimble from Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and soon we'll give you the option to also attach files from your computer. For those of you that are not familiar with our enrichment credits, you can use this green button that will show up in various different places across the application. As long as you know the first name, last name, and the company the person works for, Nimble will be able to find their contact information. So this works based on credits. Every customer will get 25 credits to test the feature with, and then you will be able to purchase more. So it's $10 per additional 100 lookups. In Signals, you will be able to see the interactions from Twitter. So if you are utilizing Twitter in your business, this might be beneficial. If not, that might not be a feature that you'll be heavily utilizing, of course. When we go back to contacts, I also want to cover the group message. So you can select people manually, one by one, create a group, and then send them a group message. And you can also use our segmentation. So I would click Add Segment here on the left side. Maybe come up with, let's see, all the people in Santa Monica I know, select them, go to group message. In group message, Nimble will give you the option to select from which email you want to email the people. The way group messaging works in Nimble is that once you connect your email to Nimble, you will be able to send it from inside of Nimble, but the actual messages will be sent from your Outlook or Gmail or any other provider that you might have. And the benefit of that is that nobody will know that they are a part of a group outreach. So you probably know if you're sending a message from an marketing automation application, people can tell the messages are usually templated, or the field from usually says something like constant contact 12345, so people know it's an outreach. And this is the benefit of Nimble. It was designed to use in conjunction with our segmentation feature. So it was designed for you to really segment your database and create lists of people for targeted group outreach and then send it to them. So when you're creating the message, you can apply merge tags. So it would help you personalize it. You would automatically grab the first names of these people. Once you type the message and you realize that that might be something that you could reuse in the future, you can save it as a template, and then you'll be able to select from existing templates. You can also add an unsubscribe link, attach files, and we have some basic formatting features. We also give you the option to send yourself a test message. So that's really beneficial if you want to make sure there are no typos in the email. And if you are including a link, it's always a good idea to click on it and make sure you are sending these people a working link. Once you send it to the list, under group messages here, you'll be able to see how people are interacting with your message. You'll see how many emails were sent, how many people opened, how many clicked, how many people haven't seen the email yet, haven't read it, how many of the emails failed, and how many people unsubscribed in case you included the unsubscribe link. When we go to activities, I would like to spend a few minutes under activities listing. And this feature is really useful for creating to-do lists and also for the managers coming up with reports. So under assign here, you'll be able to select the entire team or specific team member and maybe figure out how many calls they did during a certain time period. All of the phone calls will show up here. You can configure the table here, so you can only have Nimble display the columns that you want to be looking at. Just deselect those you are not interested with. You can drag and drop, and you can always spin those that you absolutely want to have on the front lines here. Once you are done with configuring the table, you can also save the filters. So this way you won't have to recreate it in the future. You can also export it and create activities straight from here. Under deals, as I mentioned earlier, we have multiple pipelines, so you can create as many pipelines as you want. Again, the account administrator can restrict certain team members from being able to add new pipelines and customize them. So this is one pipeline I created. Moving deals through the pipeline is very easy. You can just drag and drop, or you can go into an individual deal and make the edits this way. So you could change the pipeline, you could move the deal into a different stage, and so on. Creating new deal is also very easy. You just click here, new deal, you name it, you can set up the probability, add the primary contact. Also, you can add as many participants as you want. You just separate them by commas. You can add the amount, expected close date. You can assign it to yourself or anybody else on the team. You can also set up the privacy. So some deals can only be visible to you. You can also make them public and give your team the view and edit rights, or you can make them public, but your team members will only be able to see them, but not make any edits to them. We put it on the appropriate pipeline and into the appropriate stage. When you want to customize the pipelines or create new ones, you'll go to Customize Pipelines. In terms of customizing the pipeline, you can just select one you want to make any changes to. When you click on this pen here, you can change the name of it. If you'd like to add a stage, you can do so here, name it, and then also tell Nimble how many days you will allow each deal to stay in each stage. And once the time passes, as you were able to see on my pipeline, the individual deals will turn red. So then they will kind of start getting on your nerves, and you'll know that it's time to follow up with the prospect and hopefully move the deal forward. You can also drag and drop here when you're creating different stages, and of course make any changes or delete them. If you'd like to create a completely new pipeline, you'll just go here, add pipeline. You'll be able to name it. Okay, already exists. So this way, and you'll be able to create all the individual stages here. And because we allow you to create as many pipelines as you want, they can be, of course, used for tracking your sales process, your funnels, but you can also use it for other purposes, like for hiring or tracking your public relations opportunities. And because you can completely customize it, it can really be used for any type of tracking of anything. You can also see them in a list or continue to use them in the pipeline and have the option to nicely drag and drop. Nimble also offers reporting. You can report on all the pipelines or individual ones. You can create a team report or report for individual salespeople. Of course, you can set up the time frame. You can use the dashboard. Create a report for this week, last week, this month, last month, this quarter, last quarter. You can also export it, print it out, send it to somebody, and so on. So I talked a lot about our extensions. So you will be able to go to nimble.com/widget. When you go here, Nimble will know what browser you are using. So Nimble knows I'm using Chrome. So I would have the option to install this plugin to my Chrome. Once I have it, and because I am a Gmail user, it automatically plugs into my Gmail. What it will allow me to do is to easily access existing records, make any edits to them, and also create new ones. So I just opened this email page from Priyanka, and Nimble knows that Priyanka emailed me. Even though I don't have her in my Nimble database yet, Nimble was doing a lot of work for me in the background, helping me to create a preview of what a contact record would look like if I decided to add it to Nimble. It also found Priyanka on LinkedIn, found her on Twitter, and it created a credit score for her. So if I decide that I want to add her to Nimble, I already have this rich record, including her email address, her home address, the smart summary. I already see our previous interactions. And I have all this without having to do any manual entry. I would also be able to add her picture. And I could also search for any additional contact information using our enrichment credits here. Additionally, I could put any notes on here, log any activity, schedule any activities. I could also send her a message from here, which probably not necessarily doing from the extension because I'm in my Gmail, but I could also add a deal and make any edits to the contact record, access any of my custom tabs and custom fields, fill it out, mark her as important, set up a stay in touch reminder. I could also apply a tag here. And so on. So this is what it looks like inside of Gmail. If you are using Outlook, you have the option to use the Outlook web version, which I'm using here. You can go on nimble.com/widget, download the extension, or just download it from Outlook's add-in from inside of Outlook. It will look a little different on the web version and the actual desktop version. So now I am on the web version for Mac. Under the three dots here, I'm able to find the Nimble extension. It opens up and I'm able to do all the things that I was just showing you inside of Gmail. So if I don't have the contact in my Nimble database, Nimble will help me create it. I can fill out all the information here and so on. If I had the person in Nimble already, Nimble would already show me the existing contact record and I would be able to make any changes to that. On desktop, it is a little easier, a little nicer. As you can see, once you install the add-on to your Outlook, you will see this Nimble logo here. So it'll be very easy to either close it out or open it. So this is an existing record in Nimble. I can mark the contact as important, set up a stay in touch reminder. I could create a note, add a task, create a deal, create a calendar event, and so on. Edit it, I could change modify tags, and so on. So this is what it looks like inside of Outlook and Gmail. And I talked a lot about how you can use the extensions. So here I am on LinkedIn because I added the plugin to my Chrome. Now I'm able to use it anywhere basically on the internet, including on LinkedIn. So let's pretend I just connected with Danny and I would like to add him to Nimble. I could easily add a contact here. And if I already have an existing tag for my LinkedIn connections, I could add him to the group. Additionally, if you're prospecting, this thing might sometimes block certain part of your view. So you can also toggle the position, move it to the other side of your screen, and then you would be able to hover over any names that it may have been previously blocking. And you can do all the different things that we just covered on the other extensions. And again, you can use it anywhere on the internet, any company website. You can hover over any hyperlink name, either individual name or a company name, or if you're on a website, you can also highlight specific names. So Nimble will be able to read it when you just highlight it. And let me now show you the mobile application. Okay, here we are. So when you first open it, you will land on the agenda screen. So it will be everything that's on your calendar. If you're on the go, you quickly want to make sure that you're prepared for a meeting, you can click on the calendar event and you can find a little more about the person you are meeting with. So here's Amy's contact record. I can see all the tags I have on her. I can preview her bio. I can see what she's influential in, where she's located. I'll also be able to see if there's anything pending, any meetings, any notes, any deals. In the history, I'll be able to see the history of our previous interactions. I can easily send her an email that would be tracked. I can use our templates here. I could also call her, create a note, create a deal, create an event, task, any custom activity, and so on. Under tasks, of course, you can see entire list of your tasks in Nimble, those that have been completed, those that you have marked as important, those you have delegated, and those that are scheduled for you to be to be those that are scheduled to be completed by you. In the top right corner, you can click on the plus sign button and create a new task from here as well. Under contacts, this is where you can search for individual contacts. You can also use any of your safe searches, any tags, or you can go through your recently open contacts here. It's very easy to create a new person or company record on your phone as well. And you can also use our business card scanner. So you can take a picture of a business card and Nimble will help you create a contact record. Okay. Under deals, you'll be able to see all your deals, all your different pipelines, and you can also create new ones. That pretty much covers the mobile app. We are adding more and more features. But currently, you can access all your contacts, make any edits, access all the information about them. You can use the business card scanner. You can use our email tracking, including our templates and so on. So let me take a look at questions that we had. Devon saying Nimble does not work with Proton Mail. It does not have IMAP for browser apps. I'm not actually familiar with this application. Let me check inside of Nimble. Oops, I need to go here. So does not look like it's showing up under our integrations. You might still be able to use the browser extension. So if it's an online app that you can access, you might still be able to open the Nimble extension and then access existing records, update them, or use it to create new records and put them into Nimble. So test it out. And if you need any help, please let us know at care@nimble.com and we will look into it. Jeff's asking, my Outlook 365 is under a different email address than the one I want for CRM. Is there a way to change this? So you can connect as many emails here. So you would be able to add another Office 365 account. If you're referring to changing the email address you registered to Nimble for, you can do so under my account. Would change the email here. And if I'm not answering your question, please specify or let us know at care@nimble.com so we can help you out. James asking, can you add multiple email addresses? Yes, absolutely. You can add as many as you want here. So just connect more. So for Gmail, I could select all my existing email addresses. Michael, can more than 10,000 contacts be imported? We currently have approximately 150,000 contacts and are growing. Thank you. Yes. So the 10,000 contact limit, you probably saw it on Twitter. That's the maximum amount we allow you to bring in at once. But you can run several imports and bring the people in Nimble. And the only thing you might run into is that on our basic pricing model for the $25 per month per user or $19 if you pay annually, the contact record limit is 25,000. So then there might be additional charge associated with you wanting to import that many contacts to Nimble, but it is possible to get them all in Nimble. Devin saying, I doubt pricing would work with my email, or does Nimble have its own email or only external email accounts linked to Nimble? Only external. When I import my vCards, it is only allowing me to add one tag at import. Is there some way to add multiple tags during import? So when you're importing from your vCard, so if it's a vCard file, you should be able to do a bulk import here and then apply a tag upon the import to all of them. Chris asking, what is the size of the cover photo on the Today page? Very good question. Let me see if we specify. We do not here, and I actually don't know the answer to this question, so please feel free to ask at care@nimble.com, and my team members will find out from the engineers and will help you out. Christopher, it appears there is Facebook integration. Post submit OK from Nimble to Facebook pages, but when I submitted a post yesterday, including attaching a picture, only the text post stayed, not the picture. It is tricky because as LinkedIn, Facebook also close their API, so there's very little we can actually do over the integration. So sad to say this, but I would recommend just posting on Facebook and then using the browser extension on Facebook to update new contact, update existing contact records, create new contact records. And in this instance, you might even have to copy and paste any interactions you would want to see in Nimble. And we used to have a great integration with Facebook and LinkedIn both, but unfortunately, they cut us out. CJ asking, will you ever be fixing the iPad app to not be a large iPhone app? And will there be a real Mac app, not web-based? So we currently don't have an iPad app. So for now, we will continue to update the iPhone ones. Again, if you email at care@nimble.com, the care team will probably have more information about our about what's in our pipeline. I'm not 100% sure if we will be creating an iPad application, and I don't think it's on our horizon for now to have a Mac app. We will probably continue to just be web-based for at least the coming future. Candice, did she say you can do email tracking for opens unless we use Outlook? It doesn't work in Gmail. No. So it does work in Gmail. It actually works very well in Gmail. So for our Gmail G Suite customers, you can track any emails that you send from inside of Nimble, the Nimble mobile app, and also the extension. And you can also do so from inside of your Gmail. So as you can see, I'll be able to tell Nimble to track it or not. And I can also use my templates. So with Gmail, G Suite, you can track everywhere. We will track the opens and clicks. For our Outlook users, the only difference and disadvantage is that you will not be able to track emails from inside of your Outlook app. So if you continue to email people from Outlook, we will not be able to track the opens inside of Nimble, but you can continue sending emails from the extension, mobile app, and anywhere from inside of the main web app of Nimble. So if you're on a contact record, no matter what email provider you use, you will be able to track it in Nimble. Candice, can I search on contact record for keywords, for instance? For now, you are only able to do so in Notes. In other places, you will just have to do a computer search. But if you want to search in specific fields, the only search option we currently offer is in Notes. Jeff's asking, does this show up in the sent part of Outlook 365? Once you connect your Outlook 365 to Nimble, any emails you send from inside of Nimble will show up in your sent folder in Outlook. Candice, when you do a group email, do all the addresses show to the recipients? No, so it is sent as one-on-one. Nobody will know they are a part of the outreach. Nobody will know who the other people on the group message are. So that's the advantage. They will not know that you sent it to 100 additional people. To them, it will look like you send them a Gmail message or an Outlook message, depending on your email provider. Just asking, but if it's under different 365 email account, the Nimble button is not there. So Jeff, please email us at care@nimble.com and we will look into this further and help you out. Steven, I'm in business for myself. I use Gmail for personal use and have all of my appointments, both personal and business, in Google Calendar. I use Outlook for my business email. How do I integrate Nimble for my business and have widgets appear in Outlook? I use a product called Sync2 to synchronize my contacts from Google to Outlook, as I consider my Google contacts as my master list. Should I synchronize Nimble contacts with Outlook or Google? So since you consider your Google contacts as your master list, I would definitely sync Google contacts with Nimble. And in regards to using the different emails, you can connect both of them or all of them to Nimble, and we will still go 90 days back from when you first connected the emails, and we'll sync it in the history under interaction. Under interactions and under messages, you will see all the history of the interactions you've had. And in regards to showing widgets inside of your Outlook, so if you're referring to the Outlook add-in, if you connect your Outlook to Nimble, then you will be able to also install the add-on to your Outlook and then be able to use it there. Seth, how can you schedule email drip campaigns? So we currently don't have automated processes. We don't offer drip campaigns in Nimble. It is on our horizon. We don't have an ETA yet, but that's something we want to implement in the future, but we don't know when that would be happening exactly. There's another question. What are these widgets for? I already installed the Prospector app. Are these different? Thank you. So I think you might be talking about the add-ons for our email. So they work the same, but the difference is if you're using Gmail, it will always be sitting on the right side here unless you decide to close it, making it a little easier for you so you don't have to open it up. It's also a little smaller in the inbox, but if you want to just use the Prospector on your browser, you can do so. The differences are just the fact that once you open your Outlook or your Gmail, it will be there for you without you having to use the browser app. So it is personal preference. Devon's asking, it will only allow one tag. I want to use multiple tags. So I believe you are talking about the vCard import. So if you separate the tags by commas, you will be able to add multiple. So please test it out. If you run into issues, let us know at care@nimble.com and we'll help you out. But if you are using the tags anywhere, let me test it out inside of Nimble. And you separate them by commas, it will create multiple. So please test it out and let me know. Or let us know at care@nimble.com. Gerard's asking, can you operate Nimble only from within Office 365 or do you have to be on the web version of Nimble? You can do a lot on Office 365, but there are certain features that you would probably want to use on the main web app. So for instance, inside of Outlook, you will not be able to use the group messaging. You will not be able to use reporting. or you will not be able to create new pipelines. You will be able to use the existing ones, but all the creation of custom fields, new pipelines will only be available on the main web app. So you are able to do a lot using the plugins and the browser extension, but there are still certain things you will have to do in the main app. So also in settings, you will be able to set up your email signature. So that can only be done in Nimble. Of course, if you want to use the dashboard on the Today page, that's only available here. But mostly the group messaging, which is a great feature, the segmentation of the database, that's only available on the main app. So I hope this answers your question. Do you have an iPad app? You do have an iPad app. Okay, so let me confirm that. Because I was under the impression that we only offered the iPhone apps that could be used on an iPad, that we didn't have a specific app that was designed for iPad. Jared's asking, if I had contacts in Office 365, will they automatically show up in Nimble? So you can set it up using PySync, or you can run import here. So once you connect your Office 365, you can click edit. If you want to update your contacts, you can do this as often as you want. The difference between using PySync and doing this is, of course, that this way you'll have to do it manually, but it would, again, merge all the existing contacts and only create new ones. But if you decide to use PySync, it will do that automatically. So once a contact record is created in one of these apps, it will automatically create it in the other one. The downside is if you want to sync more than 2,000, there would be a charge associated with that. If you have less than 2,000, you can just set it up under PySync and it will be free and very convenient. Brian's asking, has anyone reported an issue with the Gmail add-on integration where there is no way to close the extension when not in use? I'm not aware of that. Again, if you are experiencing issues, please let us know at care@nimble.com and the care team will look into it. On my end, if you can see, I can close it out by clicking on the Nimble logo here. So if you are having issues with closing it, please email us at care@nimble.com and we will investigate and fix it for you. Matt's asking, where can I change lead types? In the bottom of the contact records or all lead details? So another thing you will only be able to do on the main app. So you'll go to settings, then you go to data fields. Under contact info, this is where you can change the individual fields under the lead type, lead source, and lead status. You will not be able to rename the lead type, source, and status, but you will be able to change the individual values here. Devon's saying import will not allow commas on contacts import. Okay, let me see. So I'm going to test it on a CSV file. Let me select a CSV file here. Okay, so let me just skip all these things. Oh, okay, I have to map at least one thing. Next. Okay, so let's test it out. So test. So it works on my end. Vcard file. Okay, I don't have a Vcard file on file to test it out with. Please let us know at care@nimble.com and we will look into it for you. I don't see any more questions right now. Thank you so much for staying 9 minutes overtime with me, and I hope that you will have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye.